But we are joined with, our correspondent Ricardo is joined in the other studio with LeMar Joichin, who is the CEO of Muybridge, a multimedia company. So let's take a look at that and what he has to say.
Sounds good.
What's up, everyone? Ricardo here with your correspondent segment, and I have the honor and privilege of being with LeMar Joichin, who, as Benedict said, is the CEO and creator of Muybridge Media. How are you, LeMar?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Good. So we're very, very excited to have him today. Let's just start off by talking a little bit about what is this multimedia company about?
Well, Muybridge Media is a one-stop shop. What we did is created something that we felt wasn't there. So we help companies with branding, from photography, graphic illustration, web development, and video production. So we create one clear message across all digital platforms. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do.
That's amazing. And I think there's we actually have a clip that kind of gives you a nice visual to represent what the company does. So we'll go ahead and check that out right now.
Hair, makeup.
That is awesome. So yeah, we were just talking about how beautiful that is, and I think that just sheds light on the amazing work that LeMar and his team does. So how did this all start? Like, I'm curious, like, where did it all begin? Like, what inspired you to be the creator of this company?
Well, a year ago, I decided to take all the creative talents that I had around me and put it under one roof. I've been a photographer for 15 years here in LA, and I decided, I was always getting calls for, do you know web developer? Do you know video production? Do you know graphic illustration? Someone who can do these things for me. So I decided, I said, you know, instead of outsourcing all these things, why don't I just do it myself? So I just grabbed all this talent and developed it, and now we created Muybridge Media.
That's amazing. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, like having that entrepreneurial spirit and thinking, let me do it on my own. What would you say is the biggest way that the company has grown from, like, when you first started off with this great idea to where you guys are at today?
Well, the video production aspect has grown immensely because it reads really well on the internet now. So we really are pushing that aspect, as you saw from real estate to doing resorts to hotels to bars to restaurants to automotive. That has grown exponentially for us, and the graphic illustration aspect, because now we're encompassing that with the video production aspect. So it's coming along really, really well.
That's incredible. So what would you say, like, typical day of a CEO in this company? Like, what are some of the day-to-day things that you do? I'm assuming that it's different every single day, but what are some of the common things?
Well, there is a structure. There is a certain structure. I mean, I'm an early riser, and so the first thing I do is, you know, get up, get on that computer, check the emails, go in from the emails to sending out emails to responding to calls, and then the afternoon is usually my meeting time. So it's a certain formula, and so I'm usually starting about 6 a.m. and usually ending about 8 or 9 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much daily, every day. I have this thing of, you know, you gotta keep doing something towards your goal every day. That's very important to me because people are counting on me to bring in the business. So I have to continuously always be searching and researching to find new business.
Right. I love how you talked about having to do things to reach your goal. And I think when you think about all the CEOs that are really successful, or even companies in general that are successful, every step that they take is towards their end goal.
Yes.
What would you say is, like, your end goal with this company? Like, you've clearly had a lot of success today, but where do you see yourself for the company in 5 years and 10 years?
Well, my intentions with this company is to have one of these pretty much in 5 cities across the nation and one in London. That's my big vision, because what I've found out is no one's helping the little guy, the little entrepreneur who doesn't have the $100,000 to develop a brand package or a marketing strategy. So we decided to say, okay, look, if you have a formula and something that's amazing and a little bit of money to work with, let's start working with you and help you develop and grow, and we grow with you. So we help your business grow and we grow with you. So that's what we're doing.
That's amazing. I think that's good advice for anyone who wants to start off. Not all of us are lucky enough to get $1 million loan at the beginning when we start our own company.
Right.
What would you say is your favorite part of working with Muybridge?
actually meeting with clients, helping their story, helping develop their brand. That's such a great motivation for me to help others. It helps me take something that's in their head and create it into something visual, their artwork, their video, their photography, and do something. And then when they see it and I see that shine on their face going, wow, this is my product, this is my brand, and I help push it too, that's the best feeling for me.
That's the reward, exactly.
That's the reward, yeah.
That's awesome. I know we were talking a little bit earlier about your staff and your employees, and you said how it's typically a very young environment, right?
Yes.
Like, I think your youngest employee was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Do you do that purposely? And
I
if
do.
so, why
do.
do you think that formula works?
I also decided to try to get young people right out of college because I realized that they weren't getting work.
Well, we thank you definitely for
welcome.
that.
And also they are on the creative pulse and they know what's happening, they know what's new and fresh, and I'm not 21. So
I mean, I think you can pull it off. Like we were talking about this earlier, he looks pretty good, I would say.
I'm not 21. So
time has been good to you.
Thank you. But so I decided to keep myself around young people who keep my ear to the ground and keep me developing, creating new, fresh products and services. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I do have one more question.
Yes.
On USC's campus, I know that people are big on selfies. Those that know me know that I'm also big on selfies. In fact, I'm like ready to take one as soon as we're done with this interview. But as a photographer, as a very successful founder and CEO of a multimedia company, do you have any tips for any students or myself when wanting to take selfies?
Make sure everyone's in the picture.
Okay.
And get a selfie stick.
Selfie stick.
Selfie sticks work well because of the composition and the angle. I'm myself, considering I'm a photographer, I do not take good selfies at all because I'm always behind the camera, not in front of it. So it's important that if you don't know, a selfie stick is great help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, LeMar, thank you so much. It's been
Thank you so
absolutely great
much.
talking
Thank
to you.
you.
It's been a pleasure. We're going to take a selfie, but while we do that, we're going to go on break. And when we come back, we have an amazing interview with Chris Murray. So